Hey everyone, Josh Martinez here, and let's talk about losing trades. All right, I'm going to give you my perspective, my experience, and also kind of work our way backwards of what causes lots of winning trades and what causes lots of losing trades. By the way, losing is planned out when it comes to trading too. It's not a bad thing. It's always, sometimes, a lot of times, it's a good thing to have losing trades because it means that you're being conservative, you have risk management under control. That's kind of the key. Is your risk management under control? All right, let's talk about this. All right, so in front of us, this is the Nasdaq 100 E-mini futures. This is a monthly time frame. Every candlestick represents 1 month of market movement. This has a history of going up over time, never gone to zero, has a 100% recovery rate up to this point. Why is that? Well, it represents the top 100 tech-heavy stocks of the United States stock market. So of the thousands and thousands of stocks you can pick and choose from, this is the very best of the best tech-heavy stocks. If one of these companies no longer performs, it's automatically replaced by another company. There's government protection on this. There's what's called circuit breakers, to where if this were to fall too much, too quickly within a period of time, the government will literally come in and shut the market off. They'll do things like no one's allowed to sell anymore, you can only buy, or take a break, no one's allowed to trade period for X period of time. So what that has done is this has kind of gradually pushed this market up. Now, is that guaranteed? No, nothing's guaranteed when it comes to trading or investing. But I will say this, if this has ever gone to zero, basically the United States of America is then bankrupt, because this is a direct reflection of a portion of the United States stock market. So indexes typically go up over time. S&P 500, Russell 2000, Dow Jones, Nasdaq 100, you hear it all the time, buy the S&P 500, it gains 10% a year for the last forever years, right? So it's kind of the same concept. All right, so the starting point, if you want to win a lot, you have lots of patience, you have lots of money for drawdown, buy the market, no stop, have enough money to where if it goes to, the only way that you can lose is if it goes to zero, which so far has not happened. Not impossible, but so far hasn't happened. Is that the best way to go about it? Probably not in the futures market, right? So if you're going to do this, normally you do it with like an ETF and you just kind of build a portfolio over time. So then what are we talking about here, right? Let's talk about like what causes losing trades. Well, let's talk about something simple. Usually what causes losing trades, in my humble opinion, are two reasons. Number one, you're trading in the wrong direction, so you don't give yourself a chance to find success. Number two is your stop gets in the way of the wave and you get stopped out, and then the market goes your way. From my experience, for those who are learning to analyze the market, number two is usually the big reason. A lot of people, from my experience, they are trading in the right direction. They just have too tight of stops. So let's think about this for a moment. Why would someone use a stop? Well, they would use a stop so this way they can prevent drawdown. And drawdown is when the market goes against them, which is taking money away from them, right? And so there are strategies which are designed to use stops. Now, there's a million ways to make money in this market, and there's one way to lose it all, and that's trading without a protective stop loss order. So if you're going to trade futures with the margin market, it's very, very encouraged to trade with a stop loss. Have a mindset of like, hey, unless you're going to position trade, you really can't win all your trades. So you're going to place 10 trades. Some are going to lose, some are going to win. But you don't want to risk all your money every single trade, because that's not good. So what do you do? Well, you build a strategy. And how long do you want to be in the trade? Well, it depends on your time frame, depends on your strategy. Some very popular strategies are, for example, if you go to like a 1 hour time frame where every candlestick represents 1 hour, you are able, if you get it right, you are able to get faster trades where you can be in today, out today, try to get results today. But when you go to smaller time frames, you're also dealing with market noise. So market noise is those emotionally driven market reaction due to fundamental announcements, due to economic events, due to like earthquakes, stuff like that. But some of the basic things that you can do when it comes to analyzing the market would just be, hey, we're going to draw a trend line. And in this trend line, we're trying to find what pushes the market up. In this particular scenario, for whatever reason, when or if the market comes near this blue level, the market likes to U-turn. Sometimes it U-turns on the blue line. Sometimes it U-turns a little bit above the blue line. Sometimes it U-turns a little bit below the blue line. But a U-turn usually occurs. Now, normally, not always, but normally the angle that pushes the market up is usually the angle that pushes the market down. So you can just traditionally mirror that angle, and you can find the opposite side. Now this builds structure, right? And so let's just say, hypothetically speaking, the market actually moves from where we are now to the top blue level, and then the market were to produce, let's just say, a total of 3,394 ticks, right? 3,394 ticks from where we are to that top blue level, which could be a substantial amount of returns, if depending on your contract size. Okay, so how would you lose? Well, let's just say that you buy the market right now. And let's just say when you buy the market, you go, I'm going to place my stop right under my entry. Well, when you do stuff like that, I hope it goes your way, but probably what's going to happen is you're going to get stopped out, and then the market is going to go your way, meaning that you lose money, you realize the loss, and then when the market goes up, unless you buy back in, then it's probably not going to happen. So what you want to do is you want to learn techniques, which would be to get your stop out of the way of the wave. So a simple thing, or I don't like to use the word simple, but like, to me, if this blue level is pushing the market up, we should probably have our stop below the blue level, right? Because if the blue level is going to push the market up, then don't have your stop above the blue level, have your stop below the blue level. I like it below the previous low in the blue level. Second thing you do is use what's called confirmation. Instead of just buying the market right now, use like a counter trend line break. And this counter trend line break should do a pretty good job with helping you understand when a short-term retracement could be over and the long-term extension could begin. Now, a counter trend line break is exactly the way it sounds. If you believe that this market is going to go up, then anytime the market goes down, you bring in a trend line that counters that short-term move. And when or if the market breaks above that counter trend line, not always, but usually promotes the market going your way right away. So when the market retraces, you bring in a counter trend line. When the market breaks that counter trend line, you expect the market to go your way. So in a scenario like this, where the market is falling bearish right now, if this market is able to close above this purple line, which is an angle that is tracking the short-term retracement, when or if it is broken, it usually means that this short-term pullback is over, and then the long-term extension could begin. So you would buy low, profit high, buy low, profit high, but you would buy on confirmation. You're not the first one to buy, but you're just not the last one to buy. Okay, so that can really dramatically help when you with avoiding some losing trades, because when you buy the market and the buyers are in control, usually good things happen. If you buy the market when the sellers are in control, you can lower risk, but it's like you're kind of guessing the U-turn. All right, so sometimes you can do like other techniques, such as we have a strategy, we call it the US daybreak strategy. And the US daybreak strategy, I'll back test it from the TradingView back test. This is from, let's go from January 1st, 2024 to July the 6th, which is the time of this video, 2026. There has been 501 long ideas, and this has worked 494 times. Now, granted, this is a back test, so from TradingView. So perfect entries, perfect exits, power never goes out, internet never goes out. But we use this information to answer the question, which is, if we were to trade the way we want to trade today, if we were to do this the last couple of years, could it work, right? And to me, the answer is yeah, it's working really, really well, and it's worth trying. So in this particular scenario, the risk is huge compared to the reward. It just, with that stop and this limit, it just wins a lot. So what we do is we look at the 9 a.m. Eastern Time open candlestick, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern Time candlestick on the Nasdaq 100. We do a pending buy, one tick above the candlestick wick high, stop goes one tick below, and then you just go after 20 ticks. Now again, the risk is larger than the reward's smaller than the risk. It just has a history of winning a lot. So what would be a scenario to where you would lose more than what this had to offer? Well, if you changed anything, right? If you, let's just say you moved your stop up. Okay, if you moved your stop up when you entered in and you had a tight stop, you could get stopped out lose the trade and then the market goes your way, which is going to mess with the win-loss ratio. Some people are okay with that, and some people are not okay with that. So let's kind of circle back. Let's talk about losing trades. Well, position traders who buy and hold, they usually lose less, but ultimately they're in the position for years at a time. If you focus on indexes, S&P, S&P 500, Nasdaq 100, Russell 2000, Dow Jones, those have a history, decades history of going up over time. So if you just buy and hold those, usually you're in great shape. Not everybody wants to do that. Not everybody wants to do a buy and hold, especially the futures market, rollover contracts, deal with nighttime margins, stuff like that. So what do? They will look for patterns on smaller time frames, and they'll say, in exchange of winning a lot of trades, I will lose some trades. I'll lose more in exchange for faster trades, right? And so there's a correlation where the bigger your stop, usually the more you win. At least that's from my experience. I can't guarantee that for everybody. But usually the bigger your stop, the more you win, which is really just like from my experience. If you're trading in a directional growing markets, like these indexes, all I do is look to buy the market because they go up over time. I don't short the market because I feel like if we're trading against the trend, it's really just not going to work, counterproductive. But think about that for a moment, right? And so as you lose, define how you lose. And as you win, define how you win. Have a strategy with a set of rules to enter in and a set of rules to exit, both for loss and both for gain. What you don't want to do, right, is you don't want to chase losing trades. And what I mean by that is some people, they will have a strategy that wins, for every 10 trades they place, it wins 7 out of 10. But then they go, those 3 trades that I would have lost, if I just did this, then those could be winners. And then what they do is they start doing that. And when they do that, it causes the 7 trades they normally win to lose, but then they start winning those 3 losing trades. Now they got a strategy that wins 3 times, but then it loses 7. So all they did was mess with a good thing. I used to do that, and that became a bad thing for me. Usually when you mess with a strategy that has a history of working very, very well, you start moving stops, start moving limits, start moving entries, you could make it better, but you normally, what I've seen is people just make it worse. And so that's not just with a daybreak strategy, that's with all strategies. So it's always a good idea to do what's called A/B testing, to where learn the strategy, power practice, use a demo account, place your 20, 25 trades with a demo account, right? And then after you do that, you gain the experience and you make the decision on how much you want to risk because you have 25 trades under your belt. You know the win-loss ratio. You kind of understand if it's going to work for you, if you like it, if you don't like it, stuff like that. But if you make a change, right, open another demo account and say, okay, I'm going to trade this way, which is I'm supposed to trade this way, follow the rules, but I want to alter the strategy. So place the trade over here in the demo account. And so at least you're following the rules over here and you're going to try to make it better. And then after 25 trades, you say, okay, did my changes make things better or did they make it worse? All right, everyone. So today was all about talking about losing trades. Position trading works really, really well. Trading in the direction of the trend works really, really well. Trading against the trend, I think you're playing with fire. That's why I don't like to short indexes. I like to buy indexes. Now, some people are really, really good at selling indexes. I'm just not one of them. Usually from what I've seen, people who study this craft and they learn to analyze the market, they just get stopped out first and then the market goes their way. A couple ways to clean that up. You can use an entry strategy. Counter-trendline breaks works really, really well. Or you can just simply get your stop out of the way of the wave. And in my opinion, that will do more good than anything else. Oh, by the way, there is risk involved when it comes to trading. You should never invest money that you cannot afford to lose. Always keep risk management in mind. Understand that we are not CTAs, which stands for Commodity Trading Advisors. And what that means, what we're sharing with you is research. What you do with this information is completely up to you. Past performance not indicative of future returns. What that means is that there's no guarantees of a positive outcome. I could place my next trade, lose my next trade. You could place your next trade, lose your next trade. Being a good trader is understanding the risk involved as a trader and making good decisions over time. Look at us like a newspaper. We'll share with you our research, show you our findings, but just like a newspaper, what you do with this information is completely up to you. All right, everyone, have a wonderful day. Joshua Martinez.